Hi guys, it's Kelly here and I'm back with another video. Today's video is featuring some products from Trinity Stamps. We are going to be making this fun little scene, this little kind of ocean scene that is interactive. So our little pirate ship is going to move back and forth across our little card. I love it. I think it's totally darling. I think it's a great fun birthday card for like little ones. So I'm using the Party Pirates. I'm using the underwater scene stamp, the wavy lines background stamp, the catching rays stencil, and then the interactive. So those, like all those swoops and swirls and stuff that you see with those dies, that allows you to cut pathways that you can use to make them interactive. And then I'm using the Pear Blossom Press Snap and Spins. Okay, so here, this is some Eclipse masking tape. I also like Gina K's Masking Magic, whichever masking one you have for you. And then I'm stamping down the wavy lines in peacock feathers. And then I'm just marking like which line I'm going to use. So that way I can trim it with my detail scissors. So I'm going to trim this. I'm going to keep both pieces. You want to keep the top and the bottom piece. And then I'm going to put that down where I want the top of my water to start. And then I will go in, I will take my stamp, I'll line up those two, like the stamped version and then the line version on the stamp of that wavy line. And I can then put the top part on because I don't want to stamp my sky. I got a whole other pattern planned for my sky. But I do want to remove that one on the bottom. And then this, distress inks don't stamp great, real talk. But I don't need for it to stamp great. I don't need for it to be solid. I need for it to just be there to add a little bit of added texture. By the time we get done ink blending on top of this, you're not going to be able to see all of it anyway. It's just going to be like a suggestion of a pattern in the back. So for my ink blending, I am going to go from like a tealish blue at the top to a true blue down at the bottom. And the reason I chose to do that was so that there would be a distinct, like, I know I'm using a lot of blue here. I'm not going to apologize for it because blue is my boyfriend. But I wanted there to be a distinct difference between the sky and the water. And I didn't want to do like a yellow sun ray. I wanted to like do the blue so that way the warm colors that I have would kind of pop. And then I'm going to switch, so the Salvage Patina into the Salty Ocean, and then I'm switching, the Salvage Patina I did more at the top to the bottom. For the darker blues, I'm going to go from the bottom up toward the top. And I always do my ink blending twice, because I think that that's how you get the best blend for it to be really nice and smooth and saturated color. So that's what I am doing there, and then I'll go back over it. So I do have a fun little announcement. Even though this particular summer scene does involve masking paper and is interactive, I actually have a summer scene class that I am going to be putting on. So in the summer scene class, we will do 3 cards. They aren't interactive, though I am open to doing that kind of class later on if there's enough interest in it. Here I'm going to put the masking tape down on the bottom so I can mask the water. And then I'm going to use, this is the Catching Rays stencil. I'm going to use that on the top after I have done, I just did the lightest color, the Salvage Patina at the top. You saw me do that. So now I'm taking the Salvage Patina again from the center out toward the top, and then I'm going to bring in some peacock feathers and do the same thing. So it's not crazy. I'm not taking it all the way up. I do want it to be lighter around the edges and darker in the center. But then this is going to give us 2 very interesting patterns. So we have the waves at the bottom and then the sun rays at the top. So back to the class. So the class includes a beginner, a intermediate, and an expert kind of card. And we'll move through all of them together. All of the things that we will learn are things that you can apply to any card, as I have shared with almost every single one of my classes. You don't need the exact products that I am using, though I do have a list of those. You can just use any kind of ocean-themed stamps because it is summer it's summer scenes. So we've got a mermaid. It is sponsored by Trinity Stamps, which is so kind of Tanisa. And again, this is the class that I did put on Crop on the Cape, and now we're just moving it to online. So we're doing it in the same format that we've done before. There is just the class, so you could just buy the class, and that is on sale right now for $20 until June 14th, and then it'll go up to 25, or you can buy the class and the kit. The kit is a limited time. With the kit, you will get all of your stamps, all your images stamped out and die cut and all of those things, to be able to build your cards. And though that is on sale right now for $30, and then after the sale, after June 14th, it'll be $35. The only exception, which normally I'm able to get everything into your kit, the only exception to the kit this time is the stencils. Unfortunately, I cannot provide everybody a stencil, so you have a couple of choices. There's a couple of different stencils that you can use from Trinity, and I've listed them all in the supply list, or I can show you how to do it with just masking paper. Now, none of the other scenes have any masking in them. I did that completely intentionally because I know masking and fussing cutting is a struggle for a lot of people, but if you don't want to have to purchase a stencil and you just want to use what you have, and you don't already own one of those stencils or a similar one, I totally get it, and I will show you how to do it with masking paper. So that is up over on the website. If you are interested, I will be super excited to have you in class. I love them. I think they're super fun kits, and we'll talk a lot about. It's ink blending. It is a lot of coloring. I'm using alcohol markers. I will have a conversion for Olo. But you can use colored pencils. Like you can use any of those. Learning how to apply the scenes. We're talking about scale and balance and, those types of things, I think are really helpful, and you can apply them to other scene cards that you want to build. So this is kind of like a beginner building block with the first card, and then we kind of take it up a notch, and then the third card is kind of like it's all the things, and I think that that's really helpful to have somebody walk you through it at your own pace, because it is a live stream again. So that live stream will be June 27th at 2:30 p.m. If for some reason you want to take the class, but you cannot make the live stream, no worries. That replay is available to you for the lifetime of the website. So whenever you want to go back and watch it, even if you caught the live, you can go back and watch it anytime you would like. So anyway, I will link that below. And then let's talk about what I'm actually doing here. So here I've gone in and I've colored all of my white items. So I have a white sail on the left-hand side with a little skull and crossbones. I could have done it black. I think that's how you see it more traditionally, is like black with the white skull and crossbones. But I didn't want to make it like a dark. I didn't want it to be dark, because I wanted it to be a fun, like it's time to party, like pirates. It's supposed to be fun. My sister has 2 grandbabies on her husband's side, and I can just picture like this being such a fun card for them to have. So because my whole background is cool, okay, blue is a cool color. Because my whole background is blue green, I chose my focal points to be warmer colors because it's really going to help them pop. That has more to do with color theory. I also have a class for that over on the website if you're interested. The bundle is on sale. But so I chose a warmer brown combination because this is going to help it pop off of those blues. And then for like my fish, you can see the anchor and the octopus. I thought I was going to use them, but I didn't. And that goes back to like learning that balance thing. It was just too much and it wasn't a good balance. So I'll just have to use them in another card because I did color them. I'll just have to put them together for another way. So I did end up using this cute little island, off in the distance, and I colored that with the same browns. Oh, and the treasure chest. So there's a treasure chest on the boat, and then I stamped an extra one, and the octopus has one. So I did do those all the same. there's a lot of brown going on, which is why it was so important for me to bring in the other colors with like the fish and the balloons and the flags and stuff like that. Because otherwise it's just going to be like a very blue and neutral card. So we need those pops of color. So, this weekend has been crazy. I have been trying to get this video up. This is no joke, for 2.5 days. Um, today and yesterday was my little one's recital. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I know a couple of you have left me comments and been like, I was a dance mom, or I am a dance mom. The struggle, you guys. She had to dance. So she's only 4. She had to dance in her recital yesterday. The show started at 1:30, but there was a daddy-daughter dance, and they had to be there at 12:30 to practice. So yesterday we were there from 12:30 to 3:30, probably a little after, because my whole family was there. So probably like 4, and then we got home by 4:30. Then today we didn't have to go in early for the practice, but we were there from 1 o'clock, a little before 1, quarter to 1, until like 3:45. It is 2 very long days, and my little one still takes naps. So she had no naps 2 days in a row. Yesterday, she was an absolute rock star. We did pack snacks so that she could have snacks in the truck, because we don't need like a tired and hangry toddler, you know what I'm saying? But she did so good. She did amazing in both of her dances. And then they have 2 locations. So the one location did like the like the halftime show. That was the daddy-daughter dance for them. And then our location was the finale. It was the last dance. And I have to tell you that my husband he's always been a wonderful dad. That's no doubt about that. He is a wonderful father. But I know that there is no way that he was like, sure, I would love to go up there and dance. But he did it anyway because she wanted to do it. And like that just makes me love him so much more, because like, I know it was a sacrifice for him, and he totally rocked it. He did such a great job with the choreography. The whole theme of the recital was "Let's Glow," and then their dance was like a hip hop dance, and it was like a mix. It was such good music, by the way. It was like a mix of like Bust a Move, Salt and Pepper's Push It. What was the other one? Laffy Taffy's a little young for me because I'm old, but that one was in there, and then. I'm trying to remember. It was just such good music. Oh, Pump Up the Jam. That was in there from Technotronic. It was just so fun. It was such a good mix. I'll see if I can post a little video maybe over on Instagram or something for you guys to see how fantastic they were. He did such a good job. If he'll let me. I will ask him before I post it. Okay, so now that all the coloring is done, we have to start building this actual interaction. So we're going to die cut down all of our pieces parts. I'm just holding this in tape or in place with our mint tape. And then that wave right here that you see, that's the path that our boat is going to follow. Our ship, it's not really a boat, it's a ship. Pirate ships. I've never heard of a pirate boat. And then this is all of our other pieces with our little fishes and our clouds and stuff. So I just like to keep them in my little craft catcher there until I'm ready to put them together. So here is how I'm originally laying it out. This is very busy. Okay, we have a lot going on in this scene, and it is distracting from our ship. And so I thought it would be cute to have like the little octopus holding a balloon and the little anchor, and like I really needed some ground to make that work. And then I couldn't do the fish and the anchor and the octopus because it was just too crazy. But also, can we talk about that color theory? That orange is popping. That orange is popping off of that blue, and it's fantastic. That part is lovely. Here I'm laying the base piece next to it so I can see where I need to color behind that channel, because otherwise you'll just see white, and I want it to be blue. I want it to blend in when the ship is moving. So now I've removed the octopus and I've removed the anchor, and I've just used the fish. And do you see how much better that balance is? It's so much better. And it really lets us concentrate on the pirate ship as the focal point. So for these snap and spins, before I didn't have the little sticky spots because I'm not a person who usually buys glue dots, but I did pick up the sticky spots from Pear Blossom Press, and then I put that on there, and then that goes on the back of my ship. Now, you do want to make sure that you put it high enough that it's going to lift the whole ship, because if you put it too far down on the bottom, then your top will sink, or if you put it too far on the top, then your bottom will sink, and we don't want that. But we're not going to attach the back piece yet. We're going to leave the back piece off. I'm playing with it while I'm talking to you guys, because that's how interactive cards are. You just can't leave them alone. So I'm going to go ahead and glue down my fish and my little island, and my clouds. Here, I had that other fish I wasn't sure if I was going to use, and it ended up kind of being like a little peekaboo fish. You cannot see it when the boat is in like place in the center, but as it slides away, then you can see the little fish. It's adorable. You guys know that I love a scene. I am a big fan of scenes, but I don't want to see those white die cuts. So I like to blend them in. That's what you see me doing here. I'm just going in and coloring those edges, and I'm going to do the same thing for the fish down at the bottom. See, see how it just blends right in there, and then you can't even tell that that fish had a little die cut. Totally worth it to take the time to do it. So now here I'm double checking that that blue is going to work. It is. So now I'll put the ship in place, and then I will snap the other side of the snap and spin, and then you can see it stays right along that little channel. And it is seated up above our card now, because it's balanced on that little snap and spin. And then here I'm blending in the boat. I'm doing it the same way that I did everything else. And I went all the way up through the middle so that way there isn't just white there. When we're putting together, like when we're attaching it, we want to make sure we have foam tape. This is double foam tape. So if you have regular foam tape, you want to stack it twice, because we need to have enough clearance for that snap and spin to slide. So here I am doing the foam, but notice how it's not interfering with that channel. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And then I'll get it lined up. So I need to get my little ship out of the way. I like to start on the left-hand side of my card, and then start in the bottom left-hand corner and get the corner lined up, and then the top, and then work my way around. And then now that it's sealed in, look, it can be in a hurricane, and this thing's not going anywhere. It's sliding, it's slipping, it's spinning. I think it's super fun. So I did decide afterward that I wanted to put a little sentiment at the bottom. I loved the Ahoy Matey. I should have stamped this before I put it together, but I didn't. So here I'm going to stamp it. I ended up stamping it first in the Copic Safe ink, but it wasn't dark enough, so I went back with a black pigment ink, and that made it so much better so that you could see it. So then you have the It's Time to Party up at the top on the flag, and then the Ahoy Matey down at the bottom. And then here I am adding, these are the faceted fluorite rhinestones. I love these, very pretty blue. And I'm going to put them around the bottom sentiment, and then of course add some shimmer and some white highlights to all of our little areas, because I love all the little detail work. And that's something else that, of course, we'll be sharing and going over with our summer scenes. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it helps you to be like, yes, I'd love to put together a fun interactive birthday card. And also, I hope that you'll want to come over and make some more scenes with me in the summer scenes class. If you want more information, you can head over to the website. Like I said, those kits are first come, first serve. And once they're sold out, they are sold out. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I always appreciate your time, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.